What's up, guys? Thanks for coming today. Really appreciate it. So this all started for me back in 2017. I started seeing some of these slap videos on social media, and I started to do some research on some of the companies and some of the promoters that were involved in it. And I was first of all, I was blown away by the numbers. I mean, some of these have like 300 million views. So I started thinking, obviously this thing really works for social media, but I thought it would be good for television too if done the right way. So I reached out to my guys, Frank and Lorenzo, told them my idea and that I was interested in it, and then reached out to Craig Pelagian, who's been our partner in television now for years, and they were both in. They liked the idea, they wanted to get involved. So then we set out to get it regulated. You know how we feel about this kind of stuff. We like, for this thing to be a real sport, it needs to be regulated by the Athletic Commission. And the most important thing to us with everything is always the health and safety. And I'm sure many of you saw it was regulated a few weeks ago by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. So now that we got Nevada, we'll go around and start trying to open up other states, other territories. And let me just throw this out here real quick. Thank you to the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and especially Chairman Klubeck and the Governor of Nevada, Sisolak. I thank all of you for all your hard work that you guys put into it. But thanks to them now, there's official weight classes, there's rules, rankings, and extensive medical testing. So with that all behind us, the sport is now legit, and now we had to go out and find a television partner. So that's why I'm here today, to announce to you guys that we've done a deal for an 8-episode series that's going to air on TBS in January of 2023. Who's got the first question?
Right here, Dana, in the middle. You touched on it a little bit there, but you're obviously an extremely busy man, got a lot going on with the UFC. Why do you feel like this is something that you want to dip your toe into when you obviously have so many other successful ventures going on?
It's actually a great question. I'm really into this. I like it, and I think it'll work. The other thing is, this stuff's going on. I know that when we announced this, there was a lot of concerns about health and safety with some guys. Us getting involved guarantees that it's going to be much safer. This is going to continue to go on. I like it. I'm into it. I'm not going to run the day-to-day operations. Where's Frank? Frank Lemicello. Come on out here. This is the president of the company, Frank. And also got to thank him for all the hard work that he's put into this thing too. But Frank will run the day-to-day operations. We have weekly slap meetings already that are going on at the office. And I don't know, I guess I'm just demented. I don't know what's wrong with me. Last thing I need is another job, but here I am.
So there's slap maker meetings, however you call it. But the TBS deal, how long are the episodes? 30 minutes, 1 hour? Do you know?
Yeah, it'll be an hour.
Okay. And just reading over the glossary here a little bit with some of the rules and whatnot, I'm curious about the fouls. What constitute an illegal windup?
Frank, you want to show them an illegal windup?
So each participant calls their hand before they slap, so you could go left or righty, and you have to call 1, 2, or 3. 1 is you land your slap on 1, 2 would be 1 windup, and 3 would be 2 windups, and then you land. So an illegal windup would be hitting, inconsistent with what you called.
And going back to kind of the health and safety factor of it, there's talk about the defenders here, and it says flinching, blocking, delay of match. In your mind, what constitutes good defense in power slap?
Well, what's fascinating, and you know what? A lot of these questions that you guys have, a lot that the media fans, potential fans have, will be answered in this 8-part series that we're doing. These guys that have been doing this for a long time, there actually is technique to it. You can actually roll with the slap. They know how to, defend, brace, whatever you want to call it. There's actually technique to this thing, believe it or not.
And last thing from me, As far as the roster, has there been any notables from like the combat sports world, as far as mixed martial arts, boxing, that you've signed or been in contact with that we can expect to be part of this inaugural season?
Yeah, so lots of people have reached out, and there's a casting process. And actually, Pelagian, where are you, Pelagian? When does the casting start? Already started. There you go. The casting has already started. So, we have like 150 people that are going through casting right now, and I'm sure some of them are in there. We'll see how it all plays out.
Talking about that casting, is this something like open workouts or something like or open tryouts or like how does one vet a slapper for this?
Yeah, well, right now what's happening is, we're finding out people who have experience and people that have actually done this, and the casting process is more, when you get to Pelagian, it's more about, he's looking for some personality and some people for television.
Then you talked about the regulation and everything. I think one of the things that kind of set the UFC apart from most promotions is the use of USADA. Will USADA be involved with Power Slap at all?
Well, there's definitely going to be drug testing. There will be drug testing, just like every other combat sport that's regulated. We haven't got to a USADA level. USADA ain't cheap.
Then you talked about regulation. When you started the UFC, obviously that was a battle as you tried to make it bigger and bigger. Do you think this will be the same, or do you think your guys' reputation will make other states quicker to take this on and accept it?
Yeah, that's what we're hoping. We're hoping now that Nevada has opened it up, and there's obviously weight classes, rules, and again, the most important thing, the health and safety aspect of this thing. And if you look at our reputation when it comes to health and safety, we're hoping that this opens up.
What was that initial call with Lorenzo and Frank like, right? Because you call them up and say, hey, I want to start a slap league. That might shock some people. What was that initial call like? Were they in already?
Yeah, I started showing them some of the videos that I was looking at. And let me tell you what, the Fertittas just don't jump into anything, and there's this belief out there that just because it's me and I'm calling, they're going to do anything that I want to do. That's definitely not true. Lorenzo does his due diligence on stuff like this, and he liked it. He got it. He saw what I saw in it, and they were interested.
When you talk about the show, is it going to be almost a tournament style where we see fight after fight, or is it going to be we're focused on the characters like The Ultimate Fighter, where you show these guys and their journey?
Yeah, you'll definitely see some personalities, get to know the people, who they are, where they come from. But really what this show is going to do is it's going to rank these guys. We're going to come out of this 8-episode series with world rankings.
Will you have world champions as well, or after the fact?
After that, yeah. Then we'll start getting into guys fighting. We actually have a belt. We got the belt here? Oh, we blew that one. We should have brought the belt. We actually have a belt. I don't know how we forgot that. We should have brought that today. But I'll get you guys the belt ASAP.
Okay, and last one for me. Do we have a date for the first event? And can we expect to see this almost on UFC pay-per-view fight weeks to sort of shoulder content the pay-per-views?
We're still kind of kicking all that stuff around. But, right now what we're focused on, obviously with a great television partner in TBS, just getting this show launched.
Just going off the back of that, do you see this perhaps being a traveling event? I know obviously it's for TV at the moment, but do you see this perhaps going globally, perhaps to other areas of the world?
Yeah, I mean, this thing is big right now in Russia and Poland and other parts of the world. So yeah, we want to launch this thing here, and we want to take this thing global like we did the UFC.
Hey, Dana, and welcome back to New York, and congratulations on another business venture that you're starting.
Thank you.
No problem. So you basically brought a brand back from the dead when you bought the UFC in the early 2000s. What is the process as far as building a completely new market for a completely new sport and educating the general population on why they should pay attention to this sport?
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, if you guys do some research and start looking around on Instagram or YouTube and look at the numbers that this stuff pulls. And first of all, I mean, it's perfect for social media. It is literally couldn't have a more perfect product for social media. And we believe that it'll be strong on television too. So the clips that you saw in the sizzle reel, we actually did an event. We put on an event in Las Vegas at the Apex, and some of you were actually probably there. Those of you that weren't will be surprised at how fun it is to watch live too. So we're going to start with putting this thing on television. You start to learn about the sport, learn the rules, learn about the people, and then you build stars. You start to build stars, and we have people that are already under contract with us that we feel could be big stars in this combat sport.
And you had to grind for about 5-6 years before people got on the mixed martial arts bandwagon. Do you think the process of growing this brand is going to be a lot easier, considering that it can easily piggyback off the success of the UFC?
Well, I hope so. I mean, obviously we have a much bigger platform now than we did when we started. The world is a different place than when we started. Think about when we started, we had our option. First of all, we weren't regulated. We had to get that done. We had to get back on pay-per-view because we weren't allowed to be on pay-per-view back then. Then our options were DirecTV, Dish Network, and in-demand pay-per-view. You only had a handful of different TV networks. The list goes on and on. Now with social media, streaming, the world is a much smaller place and a much easier time to promote something new.
Awesome. You're the man, Dana. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, Dan, over here.
Yes, sir.
A couple of your competitors have kind of taken a look at this before. Triller have run similar types of things. Logan Paul and Arnold Schwarzenegger put on a tournament. Have you talked to people involved in those about how you would run this?
Is who else involved?
No, I was just asking, have you talked to those people, the people in Triller or Logan and Arnold?
Yeah, so first of all, I've been doing this since 2017. This is when I started to look into this thing and get into it, and started to talk to some of the other promoters out there and people who had done it before. I was just trying to learn whatever I could learn about it. And then once we got going, Frank has pretty much talked to everybody who's ever been involved in this. And we've definitely talked to a lot of people and listened to some of the pros and cons and some of the things that have been successful for them and not successful. I don't know if that's what you're asking me, but the answer is, yeah, we talked to a lot of people.
So what's the difference between this newly sanctioned project, or product even, that you're putting out there, as opposed to kind of the sideshow we saw on Triller back in April of last year?
Well, obviously, if you look at the level that we do things, the sport of slap fighting is about to go to a whole nother level. When you talk about, first of all, health and safety, right? Number one. Number two, we'll be looking for athletes from all over the world, not just in some local little area to do it. We'll be looking for the best of the best from around the world. The production level will be through the roof on television and in the live venue. It's just everything about this thing is going to go to the next level.
Is there any chance, I know Logan has expressed an interest in fighting under your banner. He's also expressed an interest in competing overseas in tournaments like this. Is there a chance maybe you get Logan Paul involved?
I like Logan, and he and I have a good relationship. So who knows?
Thank you.
I wouldn't say no. We good? Yeah? Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you coming out today, and I'll see you at the weigh-ins.